Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India, India's voice to the world. This is News Hour. I'm Mark Lin. Namaskar. Coming up in the next hour. It's the last day for campaigning for the sixth phase of India's general elections. 58 constituencies, including 7 in India's national capital, poll on May 25. Mortal remains of late Iranian president to be laid to rest in his home city of Mashhad. India's Vice President Dhankar pays tribute on behalf of the Indian people. China starts what it calls punishment exercises near Taiwan. Says it is a response to separatist actions. Buddha Purnima, marking the birthday and the Enlightenment Day of Lord Buddha, is being celebrated with traditional fervour. The latest now on the world's largest democratic election in India. Election campaigning for the sixth phase of India's general elections will conclude in the evening today. The sixth phase polling is all set to take place on the 25th of May in 57 constituencies. The sixth phase will cover 8 states and union territories. A total of 889 candidates are in the fray. Polling will also be conducted in Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag-Rajouri Lok Sabha constituency. Last month, the Election Commission of India had revised the polling date in the Anantnag-Rajouri Lok Sabha seat from May 7 to May 25 due to logistical, communication and natural barriers related to connectivity. The counting of votes for all the elections will take place on June 4. Campaigning for the sixth phase of general elections will conclude today, as we said, and political parties have geared up to woo the voters in their respective favour. So the BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting Haryana, where he will be holding a rally in Mahendragarh district. Later in the day, the Prime Minister will hold a public meeting at Patiala district of Punjab. The senior BJP leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah visited Uttar Pradesh today, where he held a rally in Domariaganj, one of the Lok Sabha constituencies in the state. The Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and the BJP candidate from Lucknow Lok Sabha seat, Rajnath Singh, addressed a public meeting in Dwarka West and in Haryana's Palwal. In a bid to woo voters, the BJP National President JP Nadda addressed a public meeting in Bhadrak in Odisha. Later in the day, he will also hold rallies in Mayurbhanj, Jajpur and Jagat Singhpur district of the state. The Union Minister Smriti Irani held a roadshow in support of the BJP candidate from Chandni Chowk Lok Sabha seat, Praveen Khandelwal. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister and BJP leader Yogi Adityanath addressed public rallies in Puri and Kendrapada in the Indian state of Odisha. In order to garner support in favour of their party candidates, the opposition also is holding several rallies across the states. The Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi held a roadshow in Sirsa district in the western region of the Indian state of Haryana. The Congress leader Rahul Gandhi held a public rally at East Delhi's Dilshad Garden in support of the India Bloc candidate Kanhaiya Kumar. The Samajwadi Party Supremo Akhilesh Yadav will hold several rallies in the state of Uttar Pradesh. The Bahujan Samaj Party chief, Mayawati, will also hold rallies in Mirajpur district of Uttar Pradesh and also Buxar of Bihar. Political campaign, has reached a high in the National Capital Territory of Delhi as the Union Territory goes to the polls. This is in all 7 constituencies of Delhi in the 6th phase of the general elections. Delhi is seeing a bipolar contest between the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Congress and AAP, which has formed a combine. Now, while the BJP is contesting in all the 7 seats in Delhi, the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress have split the number of seats that they are contesting. The former political opponents have come to a seat-sharing arrangement to try and tackle the Bharatiya Janata Party. Here's a report.
Political campaigns are at an all-time high in the National Capital Territory of Delhi, as the Union Territory goes to polls on all the 7 constituencies of the city in the 6th phase of the general elections. Delhi is witnessing a bipolar contest between the BJP and AAP Congress combined. While the BJP is contesting on all the 7 seats in Delhi, the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, which were former political opponents, have come to a seat-sharing agreement to tackle the winning streak of the BJP. PM Modi, while holding a rally in Delhi's Dwarka on Wednesday, said that a vote for BJP will be a vote for developed India.
देश भी समझ रहा है कि इंडी वालों को अगर गलती से भी कोई वोट पड़ गया तो वोट देश के लिए किसी काम आने वाला नहीं है, जबकि बीजेपी को दिया हर वोट विकसित भारत का संकल्प मजबूत करेगा.
PM Modi also targeted the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress alliance, accusing them of corruption and communalism.
कांग्रेस और इंडी गठबंधन वालों को न आगे का सोचने की फुर्सत है, न आगे का सोचने की क्षमता है, न ही उनको हमारे संसाधनों का उचित उपयोग करने की आदत है, न ही उनको अपनी गति तेज करने की, रफ्तार तेज करने की क्षमता है.
BJP swept all 7 out of 7 constituencies of Delhi in both 2019 and 2014 general elections, which it contested against the Aam Aadmi Party and the Indian National Congress. In 2024, the former rivals joined forces to counter the BJP by devising a seat-sharing formula. The Aam Aadmi Party, which has a majority in Delhi's Legislative Assembly, has fielded candidates on 4 seats, while the Indian National Congress is contesting on 3 seats. Congress and Aam Aadmi Party leaders have called their supporters to vote for their alliance partners as well.
केजरीवाल जी कांग्रेस पार्टी का बटन दबाएंगे और मैं आम आदमी पार्टी का बटन दबाऊंगा.
राहुल गांधी जब इस बार लोकसभा चुनाव में वोट डालने जाएंगे तो वो झाड़ू का बटन दबाएंगे. और आम आदमी पार्टी के चाहने वालों को कहना चाहता हूं कि जब अरविंद केजरीवाल जी वोट देने जाएंगे तो वो पंजे का बटन दबाकर कांग्रेस के प्रत्याशी को जिताएंगे.
Winning seats in Delhi is not only important because of the 7 seats of the Union Territory, but also because it symbolizes power center of India, making it a prestige battle for all the political parties in the poll fray. Akshay Dongre, DD India.
Now, campaigning comes to an end this evening for all 10 Lok Sabha seats of Haryana. Polling is scheduled for May 25, and DD India's Amritpal Singh takes stock of the political landscape of the state, which has for the last 10 years supported the Bharatiya Janata Party. There are numerous parties in the fray, including some regional parties.
As Haryana goes to the polls this Saturday, the Bharatiya Janata Party is toiling to repeat its 2019 performance of sweeping all 10 Lok Sabha seats. Its main rival, the Congress, is fighting the battle to revive itself in the state. The BJP, which has been in power in the state for the past over 9 years, is seeking votes on the development plank. It's also showcasing the achievements of the union government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
The citizens of Ambala are devoted to our Honorable Prime Minister Modi. We want to see him as the Prime Minister for the third time. We want BJP to win again.
Than that, the last 10 years, the work of Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, particularly empowering the women, and many historic decisions and policy changes that had happened. The women, they started saying that we got Pani connection, we got Pakka Makan, and that Mudra Yojana, financial assistance scheme. There were many things that is changing the lives of a women.
The opposition parties, including the Congress and the Indian National Lok Dal, dismissed the claims of the BJP.
The government in Haryana has failed. They have not lived up to the expectations of the people of Haryana. So it's an admission. And people are already aware of the fact. And the faces have been changed, the policies have not been changed. That's why there is a lot of resentment.
The Congress, after its drubbing in the 2019 polls, is contesting this election in a seat-sharing arrangement with the Aam Aadmi Party, its India bloc partner. The AAP is contesting from just one seat of Kurukshetra, while the Congress fights from the remaining 9. The Jan Nayak Janata Party, a former coalition partner of the BJP, and the Indian National Lok Dal are also in the fray. Among other parties, the Bahujan Samaj Party has also fielded candidates. For the BJP, this general election would determine whether it still holds sway in Haryana or has anti-incumbency set in after 10 years of its rule in the state. As assembly elections here are due later this year, the results of this election could signal which way the political winds are blowing. With cameraman Saurabh Bakshi, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India in Yamunanagar.
Well, 130 kilometers away from Kolkata lies a sleepy village of Nandigram, which rose to prominence in 2007 because of massive protests against land acquisition proposed for the then left front government. The Nandigram has also led to the fall of the left front government at that time, and also the rise of Mamata Banerjee consequently. But now, 11 years of the TMC rule in Bengal, this has, has it changed the way people look at this situation? Dibyendu Mandal reports from the ground.
Nandigram, part of the Tomluk Lok Sabha, is the bastion of the Adhikari family. Subendu Adhikari, who switched over to the BJP ahead of the 2021 Lok Sabha elections, is facing a crucial challenge to defeat the Trinamool Congress in his home turf. The BJP and the TMC are witnessing a fierce political fight here. Nandigram, a sleepy fishing village located on the shore of the Bay of Bengal, rose to global prominence in 2007. Amidst the rumors of 15 villages to be acquired by the left front government, a massive protest broke out in Nandigram, which went on for almost a year, killing 14 villagers and a massive chaos. This also led to the rise of the Adhikari family, who were then part of the Trinamool Congress, and the beginning of the fall of the left front government in Bengal. The stories and horrors of violence still loom large in the minds of the people here. They refuse to talk on camera, fearing backlash from the ruling Trinamool Congress. The TMC holds a strong vigil in the villages of Nandigram, but the people of Nandigram still live a life full of destitution and poverty. With mud houses over their head, some say they manage only one meal a day. Even though roads have been developed in the region, not much has been done to increase the income of the people here. It was the then TMC cadre that many say led to the protest against the setting up of the special economic zone and the building of the chemical hub. Since then, no industry has ever dared to keep a foot in Nandigram. And now, like before, most people are engaged in fishing and farming. But however, many still feel that industrialization would have changed their life for the better.
Well, ahead of the sixth phase of India's general elections on the 25th of this month, the BJP state president of Uttar Pradesh, Bhupendra Chaudhary, spoke exclusively to DD India's Deepika Mehto on the progress his party has made in the past 10 years, what their future promises are and how they have prepared for these elections.
पिछले 10 वर्षों में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के आने के बाद उत्तर प्रदेश से ही देश में एक बड़ा परिवर्तन आया है और आज देश भारत दुनिया का नेतृत्व करने की ओर आगे बढ़ रहा है मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में। और हमारी सरकार ने बगैर किसी भेदभाव के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का जो संकल्प है, सबका साथ, सबका विकास और सबका विश्वास, उसके आधार पर हम लोग बढ़े हैं आगे। आज देश भर में बिजली, पानी, सड़क, शिक्षा, स्वास्थ्य, सुरक्षा, इन सारे विषयों पर बहुत अच्छा काम किया है।
Still to come here on DD India News Hour. UK's Rishi Sunak begins election campaigning after announcing the general elections on the 4th of July. A series of blasts are heard in the Russian city of Belgorod. And former rival Nikki Haley now says that she's going to vote for Donald Trump in the November election.
India decides in the world's largest election.
We help you feel the pulse of the nation.
I am Sakal Bhatt.
I am Shubhendu Ghosh.
This election season, join us on a journey of India.
We are in Assam. This is the tea city of India.
From down south, Tamil Nadu.
Discover the colors of democracy.
Gateway to northeast of India.
Coastal state of Kerala. Watch Poll Pulse on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lin. China's military began 2 days of punishment exercises near Taiwan on Thursday, citing them as a response to perceived separatist actions. China deployed several fighter jets in various regions around Taiwan, including the Taiwan Strait, and conducted simulated attacks on strategic military targets. This move comes shortly after Taiwan's new president, Lai Ching-te, called on Beijing to cease its threats. Taiwan has denounced the exercises as irrational provocations that endanger regional peace and stability.
Of National Defense expressed regret at PLA's Eastern Theater's announcement to conduct joint exercise in waters and airspace around Taiwan today. This irrational provocation has jeopardized regional peace and stability. Their military exercise is not helping with the situation around Taiwan Strait and also highlighting its hegemony mindset.
And Laura Westbrook now joins us from Hong Kong with an update on the story. Laura, how seriously is Taiwan taking these military exercises of China?
Well, Taiwan's taking it very seriously. Taiwan's defense ministry has said that it has dispatched naval, air and ground forces to defend Taiwan's sovereignty. And we've also heard from the Taiwan Presidential Office that has called it regrettable that China's using military provocations to threaten Taiwan's democracy and freedom. It also said that its military and national security arm had a comprehensive understanding of the situation. Now, China has started these 2-day drills that it calls punishment drills, as you mentioned, and it says that it's in response to these separatist acts. It's currently encircling many areas around Taiwan, and it involves air, sea, and even rocket forces. It seems the timing of this, though, is very important. This comes 3 days after the new president of Taiwan was inaugurated, William Lai Ching-te, and Beijing, which claims Taiwan as its own, views him as a dangerous separatist, and they also view him as being pro-independence. In the last few days alone, China's foreign ministry, Wang Yi, called William Lai disgraceful.
And so, to what extent then do such actions affect the public opinion within Taiwan of the people? I mean, after all, they have just participated in an election, and it seems that that opinion is pretty divided.
Well, yes, I mean, in William Lai Ching-te's inauguration speech on Monday, he called on China to stop its military and political threats against Taiwan. And China has been stepping up its military activities in the air and in the sea in recent years. The last time there were such large-scale military exercises around Taiwan was when Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan in 2022. And since then, there has been a ramping up of military activities by China, including encircling the island, both in the air and in the sea. And so these so-called grey zone tactics, which are tactics that fall between war and peace, they have become more frequent. So in one sense, the Taiwanese public have grown more used to these sorts of drills, although these ones at the moment are the largest since 2023. But analysts have also said that this is a deliberate tactic by Beijing to pressure Taiwan as well.
Laura Westbrook from Hong Kong, thanks very much. A series of blasts were heard in the Russian city of Belgorod, but no casualties were reported after a missile attack warning on Thursday morning. Russian air defense systems destroyed 35 rockets and 3 drones launched by Ukraine overnight near Belgorod region. Blasts were also heard in the Ukrainian city of Kherson on Thursday morning as Russian army shelled the area. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Wednesday requested for additional defense systems to protect his country against Russia's guided bombs, describing them as the main instrument used by Moscow in its attacks.
Ukraine needs systems and tactics that will allow us to protect our positions, our cities and our communities from these bombs, which are currently the main instrument of Russian terror and in the occupiers' advances.
And Megumi Lim now joins us from Kiev in Ukraine for more on the story. Megumi, to what extent is Ukraine developing its own defense systems against Russia? Is it entirely dependent on support from the West?
That's right. Ukraine is still very much reliant on Western supplies of air defense systems, especially these very high-tech Patriot air defense batteries. Most of them supplied by the United States have really helped Ukraine intercept various types of projectiles launched by Russian forces targeting Ukrainian cities and also Ukrainian military positions. This is something that Ukraine does not have its own supply of and is not producing. But Ukraine has ramped up its domestic production of weapons, not air defense systems, but other types of weapons to try to reduce a level of reliance on Western arms deliveries. The government has said that it is planning on spending about $6 billion on domestic arms production this year, and it does plan to produce even President Zelensky has said 1 million drones this year. And these weapons have helped Ukraine target Russian high-value military assets in Russian-occupied territories and also within Russian territory in an effort to degrade Moscow's ability to launch these air attacks and strikes against Ukrainian cities and positions. Right now, Ukraine produces also things like mortar launchers and shells, armored vehicles, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, drones of various types. But one of the most crucial things that Ukrainian troops were saying they're facing severe shortages of during the months that U.S. military aid stalled 155 millimeter NATO standard artillery shells. This is another thing that Ukraine currently does not produce. Most of them are produced in the United States. And Ukraine is still very much reliant on the deliveries of these artillery shells. But the challenge right now that Ukraine is facing to ramp up its domestic production of weapons is that, of course, a war is going on, and arms factories are a constant target of Russian shelling. And also, right now, Ukraine's energy grid, half of it has been damaged and crippled by recent Russian attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. So, although Ukraine is trying to boost and increase its own domestic production of weapons, it continues to be a major challenge under current circumstances.
Also, Megumi, how is Zelensky viewing support at a proposed peace summit in Switzerland in June?
Well, Switzerland, first of all, has invited about 160 delegations to this upcoming Ukraine Peace Summit. And so far, about 50 countries have confirmed their attendance. That's about 1/3 of the countries that Switzerland has invited. But as we are seeing this Ukraine Peace Summit come closer, we're seeing more and more countries confirm their participation, including most recently countries like Croatia and also India. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has himself not confirmed whether or not he will attend, but he has said that India's presence at the summit will really resonate with global countries in the global south. This is something that President Zelensky has been trying to shore up more support from countries in the global south because his 10-point peace formula does touch on things like global food security, and Ukraine is a major exporter of food and agricultural products, including to countries in the global south. And so Zelensky is hoping that more countries will attend. Now, Zelensky has also been emphasizing just how global this summit will be and how much this will be a milestone for many countries as Ukraine tries to achieve a just and lasting peace.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Megumi Lim from Kiev in Ukraine. The British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak launched his election campaign on Wednesday at an East London exhibition centre. Sunak emphasised that Britons face a crucial choice in an upcoming vote. Analysts expect the ruling Conservatives to lose to the Labour Party after 14 years in power. Sunak pointed to signs of economic recovery, including falling inflation and the fastest economic growth in nearly 3 years, as evidence of the Conservative Party's strength. Earlier on Wednesday, Sunak made a surprise announcement of a general election on the 4th of July during a rain-soaked speech outside 10 Downing Street, aiming for a 5th term for the Conservatives. The former Republican presidential contender, Nikki Haley, said on Wednesday that she will vote for Donald Trump in the November election. Haley, who served as the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations for 2 years when Trump was in office, never seriously challenged the former president for the nomination, winning only one state in the District of Columbia before she ended her campaign. But her fierce attacks on Trump's character and competence in the final months of her campaign made Haley the standard bearer of the dwindling anti-Trump wing within the Republican Party. Now, while Haley dropped out and, her bid for the Republican presidential nomination, she withdrew in March. Her name still remains on the ballot, and she routinely actually wins about 10% of the vote in state-run primary contests, despite no longer campaigning. Thousands gathered in Iran's Birjand city. This happened Thursday for the late President Ibrahim Raisi's funeral procession. This followed a funeral service and prayers overseen by Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in Tehran, which was attended by 40 foreign dignitaries representing countries such as Iraq, Pakistan, Qatar, Turkey and Egypt. In Tehran, mourners also bid farewell to the Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian. They, along with 6 others, died in a helicopter crash in Iran on Sunday. India has expressed its condolences and shown solidarity with Iran. India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar was in Tehran, offered condolences for the death of President Ibrahim Raisi and his companions. Still to come here on DD India News Hour. Buddha Purnima is being celebrated with religious fervour. Excessive heat is being felt across India and also in Mexico.
Hype versus facts. In-depth news and analysis with experts who will help you decide why this election matters. DD India is the main election headquarters with numbers most accurate, data most reliable, and viewership across the platforms. Stay tuned to the Great Indian Election only on weekdays at 8:30 p.m. IST and 1500 hours GMT.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Here's a recap of our main stories. It's the last day of campaigning for the 6th phase of India's general elections. 58 constituencies, including 7 in India's national capital, poll on May 25. The mortal remains of the late Iranian president to be laid to rest in his home city of Mashhad. The Indian Vice President Dhankar pays tribute on behalf of the Indian people. China starts what it calls punishment exercises near Taiwan, says it's a response to separatist actions. And returning to the Indian elections, let's take a look at the electoral battleground in Azamgarh. DD India correspondent Deepika Mehta gives us a detailed report.
On the coming 25th of May, the voters of Azamgarh have to really make a very tough decision. There are interesting candidates on this seat. From BJP, you have Dinesh Lal Yadav, who's also known as Nirua, the famous celebrity. While on the other hand, you have Dharmendra Yadav from Samajwadi Party, who's also a very close aide of Akhilesh Yadav. Now, the question here is the question of prestige over this particular seat of Azamgarh. While there are political banters which are continuously ongoing between both the parties, the BJP as well as the SP, it remains to be seen that who win the hearts of the voters coming the 25th of May.
The political fight is getting hotter in Azamgarh. Back-to-back rallies, late-night campaigning with a touch of music to elaborate the festivity of democracy is a common scene here. The UP Belt voters are a huge fan of Niraua, aka Dinesh Lal Yadav, who's candidate from BJP here. He may have lost 2019 Lok Sabha elections, but he is more confident this time.
आजमगढ़ में अब भगोड़े नेता लोगों के लिए जगह नहीं है और वो दोनों भाई भगोड़े हैं। 19 में जीते तो अखिलेश यादव जी भाग गए, 22 में हारे तो धर्मेंद्र भाग गए और ये लोग कभी आजमगढ़ दिखाई दिए नहीं। तो आजमगढ़ की जनता को ऐसे भगोड़ों पे भरोसा नहीं है। आजमगढ़ में जब कोई आदमी हारने के बाद भी रह रहा था और जीतने के बाद भी रहा तो ही इनको भरोसा हुआ कि ये अब हमको आदमी मिला है जो यहाँ रह के काम कर रहा है। तो इसलिए आजमगढ़ की जनता खुद ही कह रही है कि हम लोग आपको इस बार और बड़े अंतर से जिताएंगे।
While BJP's Niraua believes that SP candidate Dharmendra is a fugitive, on the other hand, Dharmendra Yadav, a seasoned MP from Azamgarh, says that BJP's candidate Dinesh is an accidental MP.
उनको देख लिया लोगों ने, एक्सीडेंटल MP हैं, देख लिया लोगों ने, नाप लिया आजमगढ़ के लोगों ने, अब मौका नहीं मिलेगा दोबारा।
Well, the political banters continue as the campaigning picks up pace, but what is even more interesting is to see how the political rallies are entertaining everyone. A class 5 student is leaving no stone unturned to use this platform as his singing podium, appealing all the voters.
Political banters continue, but the festival of democracy is also continuing unabatedly. You can see behind me the large number of people, the voters of respective parties have come here to celebrate. Whatever the soaring temperature is, the excitement is at its maximum level, is at its peak. So what happens on the 25th of May? That the voters will decide. But right now, the festival of democracy across India and especially in Azamgarh is at its peak. With camera person Sanjeev, this is Deepika reporting from Azamgarh for DD India.
Well, beetle leaves resonate with Indians across the country. One can say that they have a pan-Indian appeal, or should we say pan-India appeal. Now, the fascination for beetle leaf and the varieties of pan delicacies are culturally significant across the country. DD India correspondent Vishal Barrister travels to the countryside in the Indian state of West Bengal to tell us more about pan cultivation.
70 kilometers from the town of Midnapur in West Bengal, Salikotha village has the highest production of beetle leaf. The cultivation of the beetle vine is quite unusual and needs good care and hard work. Under a thatched roof made of weeds, Sudeep works very hard to keep the leaves in good shape. The crop has to be protected from the heat and direct sunlight and needs to be watered every second day.
The cultivation requires lot of hard work. My whole family helps me in this. I earn around 50,000 rupees from it.
From the village of Salikotha, the leaves reach the town of Midnapur. This wholesale market in Midnapur is known for beetle leaves trade. The leaves have to be sprinkled with water time and again to retain the moisture and the freshness of the leaves. Manik has been selling the pan for generations. Kolkata ka pan, or the beetle leaf of Kolkata, is very popular in India.
I sell it for 10 rupees. People love Calcutta ka pan.
Garnished with beetle nuts, cinnamon and cherries, this pan is now ready to tickle your taste buds. This beetle leaf or pan has 10 ingredients. It is very popular in the Indian society. It is good as a mouth freshener and also good for your digestion. Absolutely quite a freshener. With cameraman Piyush in Midnapur, this is Vishal Barrister for DD India.
In India, that year they got voting rights in the country, and as Delhi prepares for the polls on Saturday, DD India's Anu Kaushik spoke with Tibetans living in the city on the issues and expectations that they have in the elections.
This is Majnu Ka Tila, or the new Arunanagar colony in the Indian capital of New Delhi. It comes under the Chandni Chowk Lok Sabha constituency. The area, which houses a Tibetan refugee settlement, has a population of over 3,000. Its residents first came to India in the late 1950s after the Chinese invasion of Tibet. But it was only in 2014 that Tibetans got voting rights in India. Notwithstanding the small size of their electorate, locals here are vocal about their expectations from leaders in the 2024 general elections. Some want the incumbent Narendra Modi-led government to return to power owing to its policies for development.
मोदी जी दोबारा बनेंगे तो भारत का तरक्की जरूर होगा लग रहा है।
बीजेपी का जो सरकार है आउटर लेयर्स देगा एज ए लाइक बाहर देश के मुकाबला काफ़ी इंडिया आगे आ चुका है।
While others want their political representatives to address civic issues.
यमुना की साइड से जो रोड दिखते हैं, रोड में थोड़ा सा बना कच्चा वच्चा ऐसे पूरी तरह से बना नहीं है, उसको हम बनाने का अनुरोध कर रहे हैं.
For women in this colony, issues like safety and government schemes have gained prominence.
दिल्ली में बचपन से बैठे यहाँ पे थोड़ी सेफ्टी नहीं है, ऐसे यंग लड़के लोग बेले लोग ऐसे है, सेफ्टी ऐसे नहीं है, ये थोड़ा सही करो।
मोदी जी तो अच्छा है, सब कुछ जो करता है ना, सब हर चीज़ ध्यान करता है। अभी गैस भी कम हो गया ना है ना, इसीलिए अच्छा है।
In 2013, a Karnataka High Court ruling led to the issuance of an Indian passport to a Tibetan born in India. The ruling also paved the way for granting Indian citizenship to Tibetans born in the country between 1950 and 1987. In light of the ruling, the Election Commission issued a directive to enroll Tibetans born in the specified timeline in the electoral rolls. Meanwhile, local leaders are optimistic that the number of Tibetan voters will rise in the subsequent elections.
वोटर कार्ड बनाने के इच्छुक यहाँ पे सब है, अब थोड़ा सा जागरूक हो रहा है। अब इस इलेक्शन ना हो तो अगले इलेक्शन में जरूर तादाद ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे।
From foreign policy to infrastructure, a range of issues have taken the center stage for Tibetans, a community in which political awareness is on the rise. With camera person Mohit Joshi, this is Anu Kaushik reporting for DD India from Majnu Ka Tilla in New Delhi.
Buddha Purnima, the 2586th birth anniversary of Gautam Buddha, is being celebrated today. Now, this day is celebrated across the world by Buddha followers, Buddhists, with great grandeur and enthusiasm. Let's look at this report.
In a world often disrupted by chaos and confusion, there comes a day of profound significance, a day that transcends border and belief, uniting hearts in reverence and reflection. This day is Buddha Purnima. Buddha Purnima, a full moon day, also known as Vesak or Buddha Jayanti, marks the birth, enlightenment and passing away of Lord Buddha. Millions of Buddhists and followers of Lord Buddha around the world come together to honor the timeless wisdom of the enlightened one on this sacred festival. From the sacred grounds of Bodh Gaya, where Buddha attained enlightenment, to the serene landscapes of Lumbini, where he was born, pilgrims embark on spiritual journeys, seeking solace and guidance from the teachings of Buddha. Lord Buddha was born as Siddhartha Gautam in the 6th century BCE in Lumbini, Nepal, to royal parents of the Shakya clan, but renounced his wealth, home and comfort to live as wandering ascetic. After years of spiritual quest and meditation, Lord Buddha attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, a town in the North Indian state of Bihar. Buddha's enlightenment is considered to be pinnacle of spiritual realization in Buddhism. This event is also known as Dharma Chakra Parivartan, or setting in motion the wheel of Dharma, the path of rightness. Buddha Purnima also commemorates the passing away of Buddha, known as his Mahaparinirvan, the great final release, and is seen as the final liberation from the cycle of birth and death and the attainment of complete nirvana. Buddha Purnima is celebrated not only in the Buddhist majority countries like Nepal, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Myanmar and Japan, but also in various parts of the world with significant Buddhist communities and followers of the teaching of Lord Buddha. Buddhism, which originated in ancient India and has since spread across many parts of the world, it has profoundly impacted culture and society. And as we celebrate Buddha Purnima, let us not only honor the past, but also renew our commitment to building a world guided by the principles of non-violence, harmony and compassion.
A vibrant 4-day-long Buddha Vesak festival is being celebrated in Sri Lanka with extensive celebrations across the capital, Colombo. Now, the celebrations that started today will conclude on May 25. The heart of Colombo will see the main events unfold at the Presidential Secretariat premises. Adding an international dimension to the celebrations, the High Commission of India is also organizing an exhibition featuring a digital room by the National Gallery of Modern Art at the Gangaramaya Temple. And the ruins of a Buddhist stupa dating more than 2,000 years was found in Visakhapatnam by the Indian Navy during an aerial survey in 1976. After excavations in the decade that followed, a large Hinayana Buddhist complex was unearthed. Close to the shore of Visakhapatnam, it played a key role in the spread of Buddhism to Sri Lanka and Southeast Asia in the 400 years of its existence. On Budh Purnima, let's journey back in time.
Thotlakonda, on a hill overlooking the coast of Visakhapatnam, offers a fascinating glimpse into the ancient history of Buddhism and maritime trade in the region. Its location suggests its involvement in trade and missions to spread Buddhism to Sri Lanka, Southeast Asia and other parts of the world. The Indian Navy came across the ancient ruins during an aerial survey in 1976. Subsequent excavations unearthed this Hinayana Buddhist complex. This tank served as a water source for the monks and visitors. The presence of a conference hall with numerous pillars suggests that Thotlakonda was not just a place for solitary meditation, but a center for intellectual exchange and religious discourse. Terracotta tiles, sculptured panels, inscriptions in the Dhamma script carbon date to the 2nd century before the Common Era. The discovery of Roman silver coins also indicates the extent of its connections with distant civilizations. It appears the hill was called Senagiri back in its time. Sena in Pali means elder, superior. The stupas served as guiding landmarks for ships. Thotlakonda might have accommodated more than 100 monks and followers at a time. Its peak activity was between the 2nd century BCE and the 2nd century CE. Circles are deeply symbolic in Buddhism, showing Dharma Chakra, or the Wheel of Law. Thotlakonda declined by the end of the 3rd century CE, a reminder of the ebb and flow of civilizations and the value of heritage.
In an interview to DD India's Jessica Taneja, the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar reaffirmed that India is an Indo-Pacific power and will continue to thwart piracy attempts in the Red Sea. Let's listen.
With us is External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar. Thank you for taking out time for us. We heard about the things you said, particularly on China as well. In the recent past, we've sent 3 ships which made a port call to the Philippines, to Malaysia and to Vietnam. We're slowly also expanding our influence in the Indo-Pacific as well. We've seen as a net security provider, I'll make it quick. What more can we expect?
India is an Indo-Pacific power. We have responsibilities in the Indo-Pacific. These responsibilities can be in the entire expanse. You're also seeing ships in the Red Sea, which are dealing with maritime piracy challenges. We have been first responder in many situations. So I think you take it, we think of ourselves today as Vishwa Bandhu. So as Vishwa Bandhu, we are doing global good, we have global responsibilities, and that is really...
Last question, very quick. While the Western media and of course collectively the West is calling India for not conducting free and fair elections, it has also put out reports.
Don't agree with that.
How do you respond to those critics?
I think a few people are saying this here and there. I think by and large the West sees this election. People recognize and respect the scale of this election. So I think you need to be balanced in the way in which you are projecting what is the current situation.
Now still to come here on DD India News Hour. Rajasthan Royals eliminate Royal Challengers Bangalore and they're going to play Sunrisers in the 2nd qualifier. It's a big day for India at the Cannes Film Festival. All We Imagine as Light is screening in the competition section.
We are in Cannes, the famous city on the French Riviera. The 77th edition of the Cannes Film Festival is here. So soak into 12 days of world cinema and the hottest fashion trends. The famous 24 steps leading to the Palais des Festivals, where most of the cinema at this festival is screened, are beckoning. Join me, Munmun Bhattacharya, as I take you through all the buzz around the festival and on India's participation in it, only on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Mark Lynn. Thursday is a big day for India at the 77th Cannes Film Festival. And on the 10th day of the festival, the Indian director Payal Kapadia's All We Imagine as Light is screening in the main competition section and is thus a contender for the Palme d'Or given to the director of the best film. The Indian cinematographer Santosh Sivan will also give a masterclass to Cannes delegates on Thursday, a day before being honored with the Pia Anginu Award. Now, this award is given every year at the festival as a recognition of excellence in cinematography. The winner under the La Cinef section of the festival will be announced on Thursday as well. And in this section, the FTII student Chidananda Nayak's short film Sunflowers were the first ones to know is competing with 17 other films. The Indian actor Aditi Rao Hyadri is in Cannes for the third consecutive year, and in an exclusive conversation with Munmun Bhattacharya at the Bharat Pavilion, Aditi shared her experience of working with ace Indian cinematographer Santosh Sivan. Let's listen.
Indian actor Aditi Rao Hyadri is at the Bharat Pavilion of the Cannes Film Festival. Such a pleasure to have you, Aditi, on DD India. You are here because a tribute is being paid, the Pia Anginu tribute to ace cinematographer Santosh Sivanji. Tell us about your association with him. What are the kind of films that you've done with him? What do you feel about his work?
I've actually only done one film with him, but it was a very special film because it was a film with Mani Ratnam, and Santosh sir was the cinematographer. It was incredible to watch them both work together and their synergy, and just the fact that they're both legends, and I got to be directed by a legend and filmed by a legend. So I felt very blessed to do that, and I hope I get to work with him more.
What stands out in his work? Is it his lighting, or how do you look at his philosophy towards lighting? Because he told me that he believes that life is all about mystery. Mystery is all about the way he plays with lights.
I mean, absolutely. I think that's what it is, right? Cinematography, or photography, or it's how light hits whatever it is that you're shooting, and it's that magic that light creates. But it takes a legendary and incredible cinematographer like Santosh Sivan to create magic with light, because the way they look at things, the way they look at the world, the way they look at beauty, the way they look at a frame, the way they look at life is different. And so you see that in their work, and that's what makes it magical, and that's what makes it eternal.
You are in news for the Hira Mandi series. How has the reception been?
It's been overwhelming. It's been incredible. The love just keeps growing. I love Sanjay sir. Sanjay Leela Bhansali is truly globally celebrated filmmaker, and he's precious. And I'm so excited with all the conversations, all the reels, the reception, the fact that globally it's being spoken about and loved. And yes, I'm really happy.
You come to Cannes every year. How is it to be back at the Bharat Pavilion?
India is really, as a cinematic power, is really reaching the world, and for its rooted story.
You're watching DD India News Hour. Time now for the sports news, and for that, my colleague Preeti Kaur is with us. Over to you, Preeti.
Thank you, Mark, and we welcome all our viewers. Let's get you updates from the world of sports now. Talking of IPL, Rajasthan Royals ended Royal Challengers Bengaluru's eventful campaign in the IPL with a 4-wicket win in the eliminator round in Ahmedabad on Wednesday. Sent into bat, Royal Challengers Bengaluru scored 172 for 8. In reply, Rajasthan Royals chased down the target of 173 with 6 balls to spare. 2008 winners Royals will face Sunrisers Hyderabad in Chennai on Friday for a place in the IPL final to be played on Sunday. And Sunrisers Hyderabad are all set to compete in the qualifier 2 against Rajasthan Royals in the IPL. Hyderabad captain Pat Cummins is confident to making it to the finals. DD India spoke to him exclusively. Let's listen in.
And enjoying managing the young Indian cricketers in India?
It's been great. It's my first time captaining an IPL side, captaining a T20 side. And I've really, loved working with our players. Got a great bunch of guys. With the bowling, it's quite experienced. Bhuvaneshwar, Unikat, Nataraj, and that's been great for me. And then lots of, energetic youngsters, Nitish, Reddy, Kumar. Abhishek, guys like this, it's always refreshing to see them come through.
And the team is in positive mindset after they lost against KKR?
Yeah, didn't play our best game. In fact, it was probably close to our worst game, but that happens. We've been playing some awesome cricket this season, so yeah, aim to put on one of our better performances, and we think on our day we can beat anyone. So that's what the aim is for tomorrow.
A stunning Ademola Lookman hat-trick handed Atlanta the Europa League title on Wednesday, just the second major trophy in their 117-year history, after a 3-0 win over Bayer Leverkusen that ended the German champions' remarkable unbeaten streak. On to FIH Pro Hockey League now. Indian men's hockey team defeated Argentina and Belgium in a close penalty shootout 5-4 on Wednesday, after both the teams were logged at 2 each at the end of the regulation time. India and Argentina got 1 point each for the draw, while the men in blue received 1 bonus point for winning the shootout. India next faces Belgium on Thursday. All right, that was it in the sports segment. Over to you, Mark, for the rest of
Thanks a lot, Preeti. Yes. Well, let's tell you a little bit about an astonishing view. The Butterfly Valley in China's Yunnan province. It's flooding with butterflies. The diverse weather patterns and the rich ecological surroundings providing ideal living conditions for these butterflies, creating a heaven for these winged creatures. Now, this year's Butterfly Bloom is a visual treat for both nature photographers as well as the regular sightseer. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, you can get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code and download it. Well, we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lin. From all of us here in Delhi, thank you very much for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.